Hi and welcome to Online Appliance Tech. Today we're going to show you how to disassemble and go over the top reasons why your Samsung dryer will not heat. The first thing you want to do is start the cycle as normal or quick mode and then press the start button. If you do hear a click or two, that means the control board is activating and that should start the igniter and gas coils. So you have to listen and be very quiet. So as we can hear the sounds, we know the main control board is fine, that the relay is clicking over. So the next thing we want to do is disassemble the dryer and go over the top reasons why your Samsung dryer will not heat correctly. As you can see here at the bottom, the ductwork is bent too long. So that's one thing that can cause long dry time and improper drying. So remove the two screws from the back. You're going to lift the back up and lift the whole panel kind of like up and forwards, as you can see. So up and forward, and then you just lean it or press it straight back. Here you have a couple Phillips screws that you have to remove. It should be a total of 6. And this is a Phillips. You can use a hand tool or drill, whatever you prefer. Okay, so once we remove all the Phillips screws on the top panel, or to the door to the main housing, I would say, you're going to have 3 Phillips screws that holds the front door to the housing. So you have 2 at the bottom and 1 at the top of the door. And these are also Phillips. I recommend separating these screws in a nice organized pile. Okay, to remove the door, you just want to lift up a little bit and forward, and then the door should come straight off. Forgive me for the bad camera angle. One thing you gotta do too before you remove the door is disengage the door switch. So let me see. So this is the door switch. You do have to remove this before you pull the door off. And to remove the door, you'll just basically lift up the door from the bottom 3 clips that clips into the main housing. Okay, so now we're going to remove the blower housing by removing the 3 Phillips head screws. Make sure you remove the filter before removing this housing, because the housing will not come out unless the filter is removed. As you can see here, I already removed it. So once you remove the 3 screws, you'll just kind of pull down and out to remove this blower housing. Sometimes you have lint in it like this one, and it's good to go ahead and clean that out while you're in the process. Okay, so now you're going to remove the 4 Phillips screws. This holds the front housing to the housing of the dryer, and it connects to the drum. So once you remove these 4 Phillips screws, you'll just lift up the lid and kind of pull up and forward. First thing you want to do first is disconnect the light switch harness. It's just a little clip. So this is how it's clipped in. As you can see, it's clipped down 2 on the left and 2 on the right, or 2 on the left or the right. And you just lift straight up and pull out. And then you gotta disconnect the bottom harness, which is the dryer sensor. So as you can see, this dryer has a lot of lint. If your dryer does have a lot of lint built up in the dryer, I would definitely check your ductwork from the dryer to out the house. So this is the idler pulley. This was a tough angle to get to. But to remove it, you just pull back on the pulley and disconnect it from the motor pulley and from the idler pulley. And then just remove the belt. When you pull the belt out, just make sure you do not yank nothing else out on the way, so just take your time. And lift up on the lid and pull the drum straight out. And just put it somewhere safe. Okay, this is a multimeter. You're going to set the ohms. You should have a little ohm symbol on your multimeter. So now we're going to check some of the circuits inside this dryer that makes everything work. So this is the flame sensor. It should read 0.1 to 0.4. If it reads open line, that means it's bad, and that's why your dryer is not heating. This is the igniter. It reads anywhere from 65 to 80 ohms. If you're reading 150 or 20 or open line, that means you have a bad igniter. Pretty simple to replace, one screw. And this is your high limit fuse. It should read 0.1 to 0.4, even 0.5 or 6. If it reads open line, that will cause your Samsung dryer not to heat. This is a little extra bonus. If your dryer does not start, say you have a Samsung dryer and it does not start, this fuse here, if it goes out because it overheats or too much back heat, it will open up this fuse and your motor will not turn on. So you'll press the start button, but the dryer will not start. There it is, a little closer. And it's this one screw to remove. This is your thermistor. I've only placed one of these in the 17 years of doing this type of work, but we'll test it just to show you. So it reads high ohms and it goes by temperature. So like this one's like 7K ohms, which means 7,000. So it fluctuates with the temperature change and tells the main control board when to turn on and turn off the heat. And as you can see here, they're just connected with one little Phillips screw, real simple to replace. Just put everything back together, connections. Okay, these are your gas coils. They actually are common for the Samsungs not to heat properly, and the Whirlpool and so forth. So to remove these, you just want to take a Phillips and you're going to turn them counterclockwise. Yeah, counterclockwise to remove and clockwise to tighten. So when you remove these, just make sure that you keep the Phillips straight, not sideways, because you don't want to warp it in any way. Okay, so you remove two of these Phillips. So in this part of the video, I'm going to go more in depth with testing these gas coils. So once you remove the second Phillips, you're just going to pull out the housing that holds the gas coils into place. And right here I have all the information for the Samsung gas coils. So like 1 and 2 should read around 1365. So I'll go over here and I go 1 and 2. So then I'm going to check with my multimeter. My multimeter is kind of sensitive, so it kind of bounces all over the place. So I'll try to be as steady as possible. So to remove the gas coils, you just basically disconnect the harness from the gas coil. It's good also to clean around the gas coils also. Sometimes the lint can lock up the gas valve also, if it's kind of like a hard lint. So this is 1 and 2. I'm going to put my multimeter on ohms. And I'll check. So I'm at 1.4, so 1,451. And as I can see here, I should be around 1365. So it's a little off, but not by much. And this is 2 and 3. So then I go here, 2 and 3, that's kind of dead on. 560, that's a 599. So if you're like just a little bit off, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Now if you read one of these gas coils and it says open line, that's definitely a bad gas valve and you should replace it. Or if it's off by 1,000 plus, I would replace it. So this is 1,351. So as I go here, I'm kind of pretty much close enough. These you can remove and test, but I'm just going to leave that on. So like I said, just clean this around. Make sure you have no type of debris, because if that lint gets inside between the gas valve and the valve itself, it will not allow the gas valve to turn the valve over because of the dust and particles. So when you install these gas valves, one thing you want to do is make sure you line up the 2 little dots on the top. And you got to make sure they're definitely lined up. If you do not line these up, it could be a big issue, dangerous issue. So I like to hand tighten these first. I would never use some type of power drill because you could easily warp it, so always use a hand tool. And when you tighten it up, just take your time and don't force it. But definitely make sure it's nice and snug once you get down to the bottom of it. So let me fast forward this a little bit. Okay, if I only worked that fast in real life. Okay, let me install the other one. And just straight down, hand tighten it, and then once you get it going, then you can finish it up the rest of the way and snug it down at the very end. Well, I hope this video was helpful. I will leave these parts in the description below if needed. Please like and subscribe for more future tips and videos, and have a good day.